The people of Minnesota won't be able to shock the world again. We won't be on the cover of Time magazine and Newsweek for an election when I shock the world. Because guess what? If this rule would have been in place, I couldn't have won. I was polling 8 to 9% at the primary. Because I had major party status through the Independence Party and my colleague Dean Barkley at 5%, I was allowed in the debates. I showed that within 6 to 7 weeks, you could go from single digits to becoming the governor of Minnesota.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members.
All right, we are moving on to Senate File 1361. Senator Carlson, you are up again.
And now they do something like this against democracy. I mean, I could not have been elected governor if this rule would have been in place that they just did. All I'll say is this. If I do decide to do it, the libertarians going to stick with me?
So why we're here today is we're here to try to get a bill tabled, and this is a bill that wants to suppress voter choice in Minnesota and also kill all the other parties other than the two major legacy parties. They don't want emerging parties to be able to build momentum and get elected, so they're doing everything they can to kill them off. So we have a coalition of over 5 emerging parties in Minnesota. Some of them have minor party, some of them are still just in formation, and some of them were either major or minor parties, and now they're coming back to that status. But we're all really united in the idea that more choice on the ballot for our voters is better for our state. I want them to table this bill. They need to table it.
It is Tuesday, March 14th.
I'm here representing the 601,760 Minnesotans currently represented by a third-party elected official at the local level. Currently, the 5% threshold is too high. The median across the U.S. is 2%, which means Minnesota is wildly discriminatory towards emerging political parties.
And people shouldn't be limited to just 2 choices. As consumers, we should have the ability to choose between more than just Target or Walmart, Coke or Pepsi, Home Depot or Lowe's. And as voters, we deserve to be able to vote for more than just the GOP or the DFL.
I'm going to address the memo submitted by DFL Chair Ken Martin. Mr. Martin stated there were 19 states with major and minor party status and stressed Minnesota was near the bottom of the requirements for it to qualify as a major party. But what he did not tell you is the difference between major and minor party in those states is how the candidates are nominated, either through a primary or through a convention. The part he forgot is that minor parties in those states have ballot access. The chair seems to want us to be like Colorado and Texas. Ballot access for those states are at 1% and 2%, respectively. Your terms are acceptable.
The explanation was to get rid of the spoilers, and this is the wrong tool to do this. Ranked choice voting is the right tool to get rid of the spoilers, not banning third parties from participating in the elections. That's what this bill does. It raises the bar and eliminates all the effects of the ranked choice voting bill. So if that were to get passed and this were to get passed as well, then we would completely negate the issues of allowing third parties and more voices in government.
As a Democrat and as a member of the DFL, I believe that everyone deserves a seat at the table. Furthermore, it is from these third parties that we're giving insights into alternative strategies and options. It appears that the DFL has lost its way when it resorts to such legislation as this when they feel their power threatened.
This news, there is a terrible misunderstanding reflected in the letter from Ken Martin. He says correctly, Minnesota is one of 19 states that delineates between major and minor parties. But the extremely important fact that he leaves out is that in the other states with minor party categories, those minor parties are on the ballot without petitioning.
Please, Mr. Steinberg, if you would identify yourself for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Madam Chair, could I have a minute to acquaint myself with the amendment? It was
Of course.
Yes.
Senator Westland,
Aye.
Senator Curran,
no.
Senator Anderson,
No.
Senator Barr, Senator Bolden,
Aye.
Senator Swedzinski,
Yes.
Senator Dornick,
No.
Senator Limmer, Senator Marty, Senator Matthews,
No.
Senator Mitchell,
Aye.
Senator Port, Senator Rest, Senator Barr, Senator Limmer.
There being 8 ayes and 4 nays, Senate File 1827 as amended is recommended to pass and sent to the floor.
Obviously, they didn't believe it the first time, so maybe it's time to remind them again. All I'll say is this, if I do decide to do it, the libertarians going to stick with me?
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
The thing that got me into it in the first place, a big budget surplus. And I ran on giving it back. And that's what I would have run on again, and obviously they want me back because they created the same budget surplus that brought me in, and now they do something like this against democracy. It is so plain. They can sit out there all they want with their somber faces and tell us how much they sympathize and no, this is all about the two-party dictatorship maintaining its power. That's strictly what it's all about.
Give it up. Give it up. Yeah. Give it up.
True, but it doesn't cover the whole ground. What about the cheating and the dishonesty of people filing?
Then do a convention. Do a convention.
Okay,
Yeah, do what we do.
Nominate by convention.
Thank you, sir.
And then again, I may not be able to do that either because I could get drafted in 2024 if it's Biden and Trump.
Hey, let's do that next.
People banging on my door about that, baby. You know, those are the two choices we're going to have, Biden and Trump again. I think Jesse Ventura could beat either one of them. And let's talk about another thing that harnesses us third parties. We're the clean parties mostly. We're the ones that don't take PAC and special interest money, that doesn't drive us. And if you drive us out of getting public subsidy by rules like this, then that puts us in the same boat you're all in. The system of bribery that's been created by our governments run by the Democrats and Republicans. Yes, bribery. If you do it in the private sector, you go to jail. In the public sector, it's alive and well. I always tell people, if you're going over to meet with a congressman or senator and they're Democrat or Republican, make sure you bring your checkbook, because that's the only way you're going to get an audience. How are you going to get money out of government? By doing what you're planning on doing here and making it so the people of Minnesota won't get a chance to elect Jesse Ventura, the 38th governor of Minnesota, and I proudly say independent governor of Minnesota. Think about that a minute. You're all supposed to be for wanting people to vote. This is a sure way to do the opposite. Thank you.